Now, the smartest thing is the high-intensity training, which is low impact. But listen to these guys, they'll tell you more about it. Some of the things that Anthony said to me today is, man, gosh, you've lost even more weight. Did it solely by changing the training and the diet, exercising less and eating better. Anthony's talked about it on the website, but the whole Paleolithic diet, if you will, it's golden. It's amazing. You guys really should take the time to research it on your own, read all the articles. Primal Blueprint, that's his book? Yeah, that's the book to get and read. It's amazing. And you tell people, they just look at you kind of crazy. You say, listen, I eat a low-carb, high-fat diet. You know, I don't eat multigrains. I don't eat wheat bread. I don't eat all this stuff. What do you, I like butter, half and half, bacon, grease. They're just looking at you like you're crazy. You're gonna, they'll say, well, you know, talk to me in 5 years when you have a heart attack. But check out this stuff this week when they're gonna share. Get the books, read them, do the research, read the hard materials, the guides that break down the studies, and make a decision for your own. But taking care of your body, let me just tell you, when you get to be 40, and it's sad to say, maybe you guys will avoid it, but there'll be a number of guys in this room that in their 40s will be divorced, will have between 1 and 3 kids. You'll be paying child support, you'll pay alimony, and you'll find yourself back on the market chasing, hopefully not chasing girls again, that's the phrase. You're not chasing girls again. You'll be out there again trying to meet women and see who's attracted to you. And let me tell you, it is a lot easier to find younger, hotter women when you are 6 foot tall and you weigh about $170 and you look more like a Lance Armstrong than you look like a Howie Mandel. So, big difference there. My friend was just remarking the other day, he's like, aren't you glad? My friend's a personal trainer, and he told me 2 years ago, I'm hanging out with him, he looks at me and goes, you should lose 20 pounds. I told him to F off. We're on TV, I can't say that. He's like, hey, it's not my business, I'm just a personal trainer. So I ignored him for about 6 months, and then I finally got a hold of, I'm like, well, okay, what do I do? Let me try this. I was doing all the crazy exercise, all that stuff 4 times a week, wearing myself out, tired from it. He's like, change your diet, go down to exercising, high intensity 1 time a week. Lost the weight. And then now he's like, see the women that are attracted to you, isn't there a difference? I'm like, man, you're totally right. When you take care of your body and you find yourself in your 40s and you're still in the game of wanting women to be attracted to you, it's a lot easier to do it when your body's in good shape. You let it go in your 20s, the 30s sneak up on you, and you go, man, when I graduated high school, I weighed 130 pounds. And you're like, when I graduated from college, I weighed 155 pounds. And you go, man, I'm in my mid-30s, and I weigh 190, 195. You got friends who big, and they tip the scale over 200, and you're like, wow. There's nothing good about being a Clydesdale. So, got to take care of your body. Number 9, in your 20s, let's see, how do I do this? I know a guy, I won't say any more about it because then he may find this and think I was talking trash about him. But known this guy for a long time. It's no one in the room. And he's 21, and he is traveling overseas this month to see if this relationship with this woman's going to work out. And he's a really bright guy. He's got an international education. He's multilingual. You just look at this guy, he's good looking, he's athletic. You're like, you have the world by the tail. And all he can see, because of the way he was raised, is boy sees hot girl, she's foreign. And I talk to people that know him and I say, don't you just want to grab him and like shake him and say, hey, what are you doing? What are you looking at all this around you? Why are you chasing? But, you know, he's not opened himself to other paradigms, other ways of looking at it. So he is spending huge amounts of time and effort to see this thing. And obviously, if she's not coming here to see him, how attracted is she to him? Not very much. He is setting the stage for a woeful heartache. If it stays together, it's just going to be terrible, because when it finally gets ripped apart at the seams, it's just going to be bloody and brutal. Ugh. But anyways, when I was 20, I want to go back to what I said before. When I was 21, I thought that I knew everything. You couldn't tell me anything. You know, I worked my way through college. I finished debt-free. I'm embarking on this career. I was a religious fanatic. You can't tell me anything because I know all the answers. Man, I know all this. I don't want to hear it from you. I know where I'm going. But when you limit your exposure to new ideas, usually when you finish college, you get tired of reading. Who gets tired of, oh man, I've been force-fed all the stuff I got to read. I just want to take some time off. But you should start in your 20s, you should start making your collection of books because books will go out of print, very good books. Some of the ones I recommend that you read, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. That book's about 25 years old now. It's a masterful piece on developing yourself, about relationships. It's great, good principles. The guy had a lot of success in his life. It's a good guy to listen to. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Financially, there's some books called The Millionaire Next Door. It's a book called The Millionaire Mind, written by the same, I think it's 2 Harvard professors. They wrote a book, and they didn't tell you how to get rich, but they said, this is all the common traits the millionaires in America have. I'll give you an excerpt out of the book. What do you think is the most common vehicle that a millionaire in America drives? Anybody?
Toyota.
A what?
Toyota.
A Toyota? It's on the list. Civic, on the list. A Ford F-150 pickup truck. We thought, that doesn't make sense. Oh, so like ranchers or guys that got their own business or contractors? No. It's because they made a wise choice. A truck is one of the vehicles that hardly ever loses its value. You go out and buy a truck that still runs good, those things hardly ever lose their value. They last forever because they're built tough. But interesting, you read that book and you see, wow, these are how people making decisions. Maybe I can make some of those decisions in my life that way. That's a good one. Here's another book. I'm wearing my little Lance Armstrong thing, Tour de France this week. You know, his farewell tour. It's really cool. He's got a book called It's Not About the Bike. It's not about the bike. It's more about his fight with cancer. It's a great book. Some people love him, hate him. Some people want to see him, you know, do really well to be arrested the next day. You know, he's being investigated for doping now. But you go back and look at the guy. No matter how he got to his level of success, maybe he doped, maybe he didn't. There's a big controversy about that. The guy wasn't totally selfish. I mean, he set up this foundation for cancer. He provides a lot of hope. Show of hands in the room. Does anybody know anybody who in their family who's got cancer or died of cancer? Yeah, exactly. So you look at a guy like Lance Armstrong. Read his book. It's really cool. It's not about the bike. That's a great book. He wrote a second book called, his second book was Seconds Count. It's more about the tours. That's a really good one. So be inspired by those things. So some books out of print. I bought a book a few years ago, and I don't even think you get it now. Maybe you can buy it on eBay. You guys may have seen this story. It's 2 guys, a father and son. The son was born a spastic quadriplegic, Dick and Ricky Hoyt. And when the son was born, they decided they weren't going to send him off. In those days, back in the 60s, kids with severe handicaps were institutionalized. But this guy said, no way. He and his wife decided we're going to do everything. You know, no use of his arms or legs, no vocal skills really to enunciate words. But they took him and started doing everything with the family. Stick him in the canoe. What do you do when you're a dad and you got young kids in the canoe and everybody swims? Yeah, you tip the canoe over. Everything, you know, they pick him up and scoop him out of the water. But they said all the experiences that guy's going to have, we're going to have with this kid. Well, the end of the story is that they started doing races, then they started doing marathons, then they started doing Ironman. And I don't know how many times they've completed the Ironman in Hawaii. But this guy puts his son in a little dinghy rubber raft, swims whatever it's 2.5 miles. You know, then he sticks him on the bike and they ride, and then he puts his son in the cart and pushes him and does the whole thing that everybody else does and passes guys. But he wrote a book, if you can get your hands on it, it's called It's Only a Mountain. And it's a kick you in the butt book because you think, wow, man, I got these obstacles in my life. You know, kudos to Anthony because he's got coconut-sized cojones and he says, I'm going to do this come hell or high water. And it's a stubborn resilience that's going to serve him well. It's probably going to hurt him a little bit along the way. But, you know, this is the same thing this guy said, hey, I'm going to do this. Nothing's going to stand in my way. It's Only a Mountain. That's a good book. And I think I had a blog article once about different books that I read that have influenced me, but this is some of the good ones. But the point of that is you don't want to limit your exposure to new paradigms. You want to be associated with people that can bring you new ideas. You want to always try to maybe this point's on here. You always want to try to improve the quality of people that are in your life. that kind of comes to the final point is that, one other thing on that, limiting exposure.